Hello. How's everybody doing? All right. Come on in. Let's get it together, everybody. Come on in. I guess I just need to start talking, huh? All right. So, welcome to the three financial mistakes CEOs make. I'm your host, Sonia Jones of GFP Financials, your Mr. Miyagi of Money. And so I wanted to start off kind of like Joel say, I'm gonna start off with something funny now. All right. So people ask about why I call myself the Mr. Miyagi of money. My friends I need to be the Miss Miyagi, but everybody know who Mr. Miyagi is, right? Little dude from Karate Kid. And so, for those of you who are not familiar with Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi was Daniel, or he called Daniel-san, his mentor. And just to give you context, Daniel was in high school. I think he might have been like 10th or 11th grade. New kid. He had moved recently to the school. And it is with the new kids. They get bullied, get picked on, by like the school jocks and stuff like that. And so what happened is he just got tired of being picked on. And so he wanted to learn karate. But he couldn't learn karate from the Cobra Kai people because that's where the folks that was picking on him, they were part of the Cobra Kai. So I don't remember how he discovered Mr. Miyagi, but he found Mr. Miyagi. And Mr. Miyagi has some very traditional yet unconventional ways to teach Daniel the fundamentals. He taught him through basically chores like waxing the car and painting the fence and things like that, sanding the deck, right? So like sand the floor, wax on, wax off, paint the fence, all that stuff like that. And so at that point in time, Daniel was like, hey man, I think you trying to get some cheap labor or something. When you gonna teach me this karate? And so that's when Mr. Miyagi showed him that actually what he was doing through those chores was teaching him the techniques of karate, right? And so that's how I feel. I feel like I am the Mr. Miyagi of money because, especially when it comes to business finances, you have to have fundamentals, right? And a lot of what I'm teaching, especially tonight, are the fundamentals for business finance, like we talked about yesterday. And feel free to comment below if you have any questions or anything like that. So yesterday we talked about mistake number one, not establishing your business properly. So we talked about the importance of having business license. If you have an LLC, a corporation, be it an S Corp or a C Corp or a partnership, to register your business with the Secretary of State, creating a business checking account, all that good stuff, and having business insurance. You got to make sure that those are the fundamental things to not only make sure that your business is legit. Oh, we talked about EIN also. So you have to have those building blocks to not only establish your business, but also make it known, to the general public that you are legit, right? Because you got to put those things in place as soon as your business opens, because time is of the essence. And once your business grows to scale and you need extra funding and things like that, banks are going to ask you for a certain amount of times worth of, finance reports and things like that. So that's why I always encourage my clients and my prospective clients. That's why you need to take care of those things as soon as you decide to start a business. Okay, those are startup costs that you just have to have, right? So tonight we are going to talk about establishing your money in system. You'll be surprised. People are so excited to start businesses, but then don't have a system to, one, bring customers to them. And I'm not talking about just advertising and marketing. I'm talking about to close the sale. And they also have to make sure that they track the money. It's one thing to have the money in the account, but just because the money is in the account doesn't necessarily mean that you have that money to spend and ball till you fall, right? Just saying. All right. So, with that being said, let me give you what I call the good government name of the money in system. In accounting land, we call that accounts receivable. Everybody say it together. Accounts receivable. Wonderful. Right? And so when you're talking about accounts receivable, you might also hear me say AR because that's the term that I normally use. When you're talking about your money in system, you got to be thinking about once that customer sees your advertisement or once somebody gives provides a referral from word of mouth, like, girl, you need to go see so and so, you need to go holler at so and so. Then when they contact you, what are you going to do? Right. So that's what we're going to talk about from a financial perspective. So what I'm going to do tonight, I have my notes, I believe we got 3. Yes, I have 3 guiding questions to consider when creating your money in system. Okay. So if you guys are listening, just listen right now. Be kind of thinking, I'm talking through it. And then on the replay, get your pen and paper and write the stuff down. Got it? All right. Ready? Here we go. Like cheerleader. Ready? Okay. So goofy. All right. So here's question number 1. How will you close the sale with a prospective client? Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that I do, or we do. Right? We got a team. Oh, thank you. GFP got a team. Don't play with it. We got a squad. What else say our name was? The Positionettes. Don't play with it. Quartet coming to a church near you. Oh, I need a good guitar player. Don't play with it. All right. So how are you going to close the sale with a prospective client? So first, you got to think about the intake process. When I talk about intake process, we're talking about getting them in the door. Okay. Some of the ways that you can do that, if you're service-based, you got a consultation, right? Schedule a consultation. If you're product-based, you can do a consultation, or like I see plenty of times, if I'm looking for, a product, 9 times out of 10, you got to create an account, don't you? Then they got to ask you, some guiding questions to create your profile, right? Or as you are, I'm pretty sure, like with the product-based businesses, like say, for example, if I'm going to like paraphernalia website, right? And I go see Z5B, I'm pretty sure the what we call like the breadcrumbs or the tracking, they're able to see how many people, are shopping based off of the menu links and things that they have. So you just got to be thinking about those things. So it's just not about just creating a website. You got to have a website that's going to be able to give you data, to help you, track your clients and things like that. So we talk about consultation or creating an account profile. What does your client need? So you got to ask probing questions, right? So when you schedule a consultation with GIP, if you go to my website, at the top right, it says schedule a consultation. So when you click on schedule a consultation, it's going to give you the types of meetings that you can schedule. I have an option for a free 30-minute consultation. So once you click on there and you pick the time, it's going to ask you a series of questions. And it's going to ask like what type of business you have. If you have LLC, sole proprietorship, S corp, not sure. And then I have a list like check all that apply of different scenarios. Like I got all these receipts, child. I don't know what to do with them. They're getting on my nerves. I need help with preparing my business taxes. I need help with my, monthly business finance, the organization of my finances, stuff like that. When you participate in that intake form and you're honest, remember we talked about that as well, because if you're not honest about what you need, the professional can't help you in the best way possible, right? So that's just an example of how that helps me, make sure that we make the best use of our time in the 30 minutes that we have for your consultation. Another example that I wanted to talk about, I personally like Stitch Fix. I'm not advertising, but I just like to give flowers what flowers are due. At Stitch Fix, when you get on that thing, it's going to ask you about your size and, what you like. And they also, as you're going through those questions, they're going to put some little styles together. Like, you like that? You're like, nah. You're like, all right, then you like this? You're like, yeah, I bet. So you mean you like this? No, all right, well, you might like this. So those are the type of things I kind of want you to think about as you're thinking about how you're going to um, gather the information to meet your client's needs, right? Another thing you gotta make sure that you do, you gotta listen, y'all. If you're in business, you gotta be Dr. Phil. All of my coworkers know that term with me. I'm the Dr. Phil in my school. I receive the gift of a child. Sometimes I don't like being Dr. Phil all the time, but you have to be an active listener, right? Which means sometimes you're gonna have to just let your client whine and complain and da 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 da. Especially in my line of work, quite a few of my prospective clients have had bad experiences in the past. And so in those situations, I have to really actively listen to hear what things they went through, because I'm also listening to hear how I need to educate them in the future, right? So you got to be Dr. Phil. In your consultation or as you're going through, your product-based service intake, offer a solution to that client that they're able to implement immediately that's not tied, to your particular product or service per se. And an example of that, one of the things that I do, especially with my nonprofit clients, because I do use QuickBooks as our primary accounting software for GIP, a lot of nonprofit CEOs and CFOs do not know that they can actually get the QuickBooks Online Plus, and that's the specific subscription that I recommend because it has the element of budget planning. I recommend that they use that, not get it through QuickBooks Intuit, but through TechSoup, and that is a website that's designed for nonprofits to get those software subscriptions at a discounted rate. And so, what they would normally purchase QBO for per month, they can get it for an entire year. So that's kind of one of the freebies that I, let them know about. And again, as you're narrowing down the consultation, make sure that you offer them the product or solution that's going to fit their need. Okay. And then let's talk about actually presenting the pricing, right? So hopefully you have a quote or estimate, something written that you can provide to the prospective client so they can have something to reference, right? If you're providing a quote for service, please, I cannot stress this, please, if I can get on bending knee, I would. Boys to men, please get a signature or a written acceptance of the quote. If you do not have DocuSign, or I think like HelloFax or something, if you do not have an electronic document type of platform, please subscribe to it. It will help you in the long run, especially, God forbid, if there's a disagreement about services, then you already have that thing in writing. Okay. One of the things that I do after I have the consultation, I'm always going to do two things. I'm going to provide an estimate and I'm going to provide a letter of engagement. And what the letter of engagement does, it outlines what I can do and what I can't do regarding the type of service that you want GIP to perform, whether it's QuickBooks setup, monthly bookkeeping, if you want us to help you apply for a grant or a loan to prepare the financials for that, anything of that magnitude, I'm going to let you know specifically in that service what we can do, what we won't do, and if you need something in addition to those services, that's going to prompt another engagement, right? So boundaries and clarity is paramount. Okay, as far as you making sure that you lock in your income. Okay, and then once all that is done, then we wait and establish the engagement. So, like I said, make sure that you have a contract, and then that lets your client know that you are, as in Memphis terms, you about the business, right? So have that estimate, make sure that they sign it, have that engagement letter, make sure that they sign that, and then you send them the invoice and you're ready to roll. Okay. So that's the first question. The second question, how will you receive payments from your customers? Okay. Thinking about that. If you're a brick and mortar, are you doing in-person payments? I'm assuming so, right? With some type of register or POS. Mailed payments. Are you doing things online? For me, I try to make sure that I have all payment methods known to man. for my clients because whether it's Cash App, PayPal, Stripe, anything like that, because you don't want to miss any money over a platform. Okay. So just make sure that you are accessible to your clients, especially when it comes to your income. All right. And also, if you're using accounting software, make sure that your payment platform integrates with your accounting software. If you're using QuickBooks or if you're thinking about using QuickBooks, I want you to write this down or listen to it, and then I'm just going to put it on here so you can write down later. It's www.apps.com. And that website specifically is laid out for all of the third-party platforms that integrate with QuickBooks. It's super fast. All right. And so even if you don't have any platforms right now, it's good to have as a reference. That's the first thing that I do if I'm trying to integrate software. Okay. Another thing that you have to make sure that you do, I'm looking at my notes. Remember that the goal is automation. Okay. You want to make sure that you're able to collect your money from different platforms. Yes, you're going to have transaction fees. I can't get on my soapbox today about the folks in PayPal. If you got PayPal in your business, you need to have a PayPal business account. I would get up from this chair if this camera was not on this tripod. Don't you dare have a PayPal account talking about send the money through friends and family. Don't you dare. Do not, because what that does, I'm going to call you out and air it all out. If you do that, if you have an entrepreneur that tells you to do that, what that does is cutting them off from liability. You got to make sure that you do goods and services, because if something go down, you got the right to recall that payment. Period. Right? So CEO, you better make sure you have some integrity and do what you're supposed to do out here, so you won't have your payments being wrong. Yeah, I said it. That's one of my pet peeves. That's a pet peeve of mine. You're gonna be a business all the way. Just saying. All right, gotcha. And sing. All right, now. So we talked about how you're gonna receive payments from your customers. Also, be thinking about this. When are your payments going to be due from your customers? This is particular for service-based people. Are you going to have deposits for your service, which I would recommend? Are you going to offer prepayment? Are you going to do a net 10? Are you going to do a net 15, a net 30? What that means is if you issue the invoice, the customer has 10 days to pay it, 15 days to pay it, 30 days to pay it. Depending on the level of service that you offer, you may want to, if they pay it within a certain amount of time, you may want to consider doing a early pay discount, like 2% or something like that. That way you can go ahead and get your money in quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay. And then, of course, with some clients, everybody's not going to pay on time, right? And that's just trial and error. And what that does too, CEO, that allows you to not just work on your communication with your clients, but it also lets you know, hey, this may not be a particular client that's a good fit for my business. If your clients can't pay you, right, and if it's consistent, everybody gonna fall on hard times, but if that's a consistent behavior, that's probably not the client that's gonna be ideal for your type of business. And it's okay for you to be cool with it. You don't have to bring in every client that comes through your door. You have that's why we in business, right? So there you go. So you have the liberty, CEO. I'm gonna fuss at you, but then I'm gonna give you some love too. You have the right to select the clients that you want to work with. Okay. All in behavior. And if you do it right, if you do that Dr. Phil part right, you'll know who you can work with and who's not going to be a good fit for you. Okay. So let's recap our questions. So the first question was, how will you close the sale with a prospective client? The second question was, how will you receive payments from your customers? Our final question of the evening is, how will you categorize your revenue? Okay. So hopefully I'm talking to some people that already have accounting software, right? Right. So as you're generating this revenue, and say you have QuickBooks and you got QuickBooks payments, right? You have the ability to shoot out an invoice, and they got the little green box that say pay your invoice, man. And they pay that invoice, and then you get the emails like, you get some money, right? Then you go into QuickBooks, and then you have to categorize where that income is going to go or what type of income it is, right? So how you going to categorize it? You got to think about it. If you're a service, you can do service income. You can call it sales. What if you get a grant, right? You have to make sure that you categorize it as a grant, because just giving it to you for free, if you get a grant, one, I'm gonna tell you, everything that's presented to be free ain't free. If you get a grant and they send you a W-9, guess what? You have to report that income, right? Surely you're gonna have to report that income. So you have to make sure to create make sure that you create a category in your space for grants, okay, in your QuickBooks. And then also, like I said, if you are a product or service, QuickBooks has an option in that software to where you can itemize the types of products or service, right? One other thing that I failed to mention is that one of the benefits of QuickBooks is that QuickBooks has an online app. So say if you are, let me see, an electrician, and you just perform service. You're about to create the invoice, right? So you got your phone, you select the customer, you already got your products and services already listed. You can create a particular product. If it's a fixed amount, you can put that in there, hit send, put the customer's information in there, and boom, you good to go. All right. And so you got sales, grants, categorized by product or service. And you also have to consider this as well. How do you want to track your sales information? So here's something to consider, especially for those of you who use, oh, I thought I had to sneeze. Oh, I thought I had to sneeze again. Lord have mercy. Boy, y'all getting all types of good comedy today. I tell you what's the truth. So how do you want to track your sales information? If you are let me see, like an entrepreneur that has like a salon, or trying to think, some of my clients like a trucking company, or you are using, if you have a contract agreement with a client that has particular software. I'm trying to think of some of my clients that I'm currently working with, and you have inventory. Okay. Here's what I tell my clients. Keep all your inventory and all that specific industry specific tracking in those platforms. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because in QuickBooks land, your bank statement is going to be your Bible. That's going to be law. Meaning that, say, for example, if you're in, Schedulicity, that's a platform for like hairstylists, nail shop owners, things like that. Schedulicity has the feature where not only can you receive payments, but you can track your inventory, because you're going to be, selling other things like flip-flops or nail polish, stuff like that. Extra bundles, right? Because everybody ain't coming to get their hair done. They forget an extra couple packs. Because folks like change their hairstyle at the last minute. So, child, that's going to cost you, right? That's going to cost the baby. Right. So they are able to take care of all of that in those specific platforms, which is cool. You transfer your money from those platforms over to QuickBooks. And that's going to be going from your platform to your business checking account. Remember, we talked about mistake number one? It's going to your business checking account. So that means from the bank statement, it's just going to show one deposit from that platform of whatever amount it is. Meaning in QuickBooks, we don't need to see the itemized, like what that $1,000 deposit, who all paid you on that particular day. We don't need to see that in QuickBooks. Okay. Keep that over there. Keep that energy over there. Right? QuickBooks only wants for financial management purposes. We just want to see how much money you made for the month. Now, because QuickBooks can, you can create your incomes, categories and details and subcategories. Oh, you can flesh it out however you want to. So, say for example, if you're using multiple platforms, one platform uses Stripe, one platform uses PayPal, the other platform uses Cash App. If you want to see how much revenue you're generating from the different platforms, you can definitely do that. Easy peasy. Okay. And for my nonprofits out there, if you are, say you got a grant, and some grants, what we call, are unrestricted, meaning once you get the money, you can use it however you want to. But some grants are restricted, meaning that you have to spend the money in a specific way. QuickBooks has a feature called tags, to where, say for example, if you receive, your grant money, you can not only categorize it as income, but you can tag it as whatever this particular grant name is. And then when you start spending money for that said grant, the expenditures can be tracked by those tags as well, which means, drum roll, you can create a report that will only pull the information specifically for that tag. Because remember, I told you, when it comes to grants, everything that's given to you free is not free, right? So not only will you may have to report that income, that organization is going to ask you, how did you spend that money? Because you got to think about it. They are going to be held accountable for dispersing, those grants to different organizations, because they want to make sure that the funds are being spent with fidelity and for that said purpose, right? So it's going to be very important that even if it is unrestricted, you want to make sure that you track it so you can see how you're spending it. And always just keep this in mind. You don't know how your business is going to blow up. And then when it's time for you to get that in need or request that, income or that funding and things like that, those things are going to help you. The more organized you are, the greater the chance you're going to be approved for funding. So always keep that in mind. Okay. So that's all I got for tonight. So I'm going to recap mistake number 2, establishing your money in system. Remember what we called it? The initials are AR. You remember? That's right, friends. It's accounts receivable. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Hello, friend. Next time I'm coming out this joint with Bob Ross. Bob Ross Afro. Happy trees. There you go. Happy trees. Don't paint some happy trees. You Irie. Don't play with Bob Ross. That's the dude. All right, rest his soul up, bro. Ross. All right, so let's recap these questions here. So remember, when you're thinking about your money in system, your accounts receivable, your AR system, first question, how will you close the sale with a prospective client? 2, how will you receive payments from your customers? And 3rd, how will you categorize your revenue? Okay, so with that being said, I know it was a lot. I have to be very careful about teaching because I know I'm a teacher and I will go ham. And I know, especially given this particular subject, it can be overwhelming. So I just want to make sure that y'all are good. Do we have any comments or questions? Comments or questions? I'm not looking at the YouTube, but I've got people doing it for me. Nothing right now? All right, good job. All right, good job. So if you're thinking, when you're talking about accounts receivable, man, I don't know how to do this stuff. Guess what? Schedule a consultation with me so we can help you get your accounts receivable in position, because this is going to be the most critical part, especially in my opinion, because your money in, and just for me, is more important than your money out. Most people just pay their bills and schedule that automatically directly from those vendors. That's not a big deal. But accounts receivable, you got to make sure that you track that. And if you don't track it properly at the end of the tax year, especially if you guys are creating invoices and stuff, it is critical that you track that and not create multiple invoices and things like that and deposits. It can be cumbersome if you don't have it managed. And just be honest, if you don't know how to do it, you better get a professional. You better invest in a professional because that is not what you want to have to do. It's kind of like, what is it like? Like having gum in your hair and then it dry up in your hair. And then you sitting up there with you got to cut that big old patch of gum out your hair looking like Woody Woodpecker. That is not what you want to do. That's what having messed up accounts receivable can look like. All right. Let's talk about some other things. I got my notes here. All right. So yesterday we talked about two things. One, we talked about the secure the bag, the secure the bag CEO challenge, June the 20th through the 22nd. Guess what, y'all? It is available on Eventbrite. It is available on Eventbrite. And no, I take that back. It's available on Eventbrite, but the sale won't go live until June the 3rd. Aha. There you go. Right. And again, the prices are for general admission is $47. You're getting 3 days, 3 hours of content of business finance fundamentals from yours truly. And if you need a little bit more love, you want to spend some one-on-one time with me an hour before the general admission. So this will be from 6 to 7. Go ahead and get that VIP. It's $197 for an additional 3 hours with me. And you can ask your questions that you need for your business as we're talking about the different things to help you secure the bag. We're going to be talking about CEO mindset. There is no way you're going to be able to secure nothing. All right, that's double negative. Right? There is no way you're going to be able to secure anything if your mind is not together. CEO. There are certain things as a CEO that you should not be doing, especially regarding business finances. We're going to talk about that as well, right? And guess what? Even in your personal money beliefs, those things can carry on in your business as well and how you handle your money. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about your business entity structure. We're going to talk about that more in detail. And also, we're going to talk about your bookkeeping basics, right? A lot of stuff that we're talking about tonight or these next 3 days, we're going to talk about more in detail later on, like the purpose of choosing the right accounting software, the 4 financial roles, things like that. A lot of things that, I've talked about on my YouTube channel. Right? Go look at some of these videos, man. So we're going to do a real deep dive with Secure the Bag Challenge. Okay. So those are things we're going to talk about. Go ahead and look on Eventbrite and see what we're talking about. Okay. And like I said, go ahead and make that investment. This is a tax deductible investment for you, CEO. You can write off on your tax. See, I already benefit. You're welcome. You are so welcome. All right. So with that being said, and I believe that the 3 mistakes for the 3 financial mistakes CEOs make, the checklist. We got a checklist, y'all. We got a free checklist, freebie checklist. It is, I believe it's available as well. You will get that information soon. And like I said, this will be a freebie. And everything that I'm talking about tonight, you're going to get a checklist. It's kind of like an opt-in. And once you get that checklist, you're going to download that thing. You're going to make sure that you check off everything you're supposed to do to check it off. And guess what? If you follow that thing to the T, you will be in position to do whatever you need to do for your business. Your profits will be able to be increased because you're going to be tracking them better. You're going to be good for tax time because everything's going to be organized. You're going to be able to save time as a CEO. You shouldn't be sitting up there in the middle of the night trying to categorize and scan receipts and stuff like that. You'll have a system, a business finance system to get yourself and your business together. So make sure that you get that checklist and that you sign up for the Secure the Bag CEO Challenge. So again, I want to make sure that I shout out you guys for being here for this video. I want to shout out to my email list. My email list, man, my bad. I sent them folks. I did all this work yesterday, all for them to be like, I was like, I did not send them the information about the video. Yes, you will get access to the replay. So if you for the Secure the Bag Challenge, yes, you will get access to the replay. That's one of the things that I do for GIP, especially if you're a client of mine. Most of the time when we have a meeting, I record it because, like I said, what we're talking about, I know it's like be like a fire hole, like poof, right? So I want to make sure, especially that those things are recorded, so you'll have them so you can keep, listening to it over and over and over again. Yes, you will definitely have access to the replay. That's just kind of a non-negotiable of mine because I know how important financials are, and you're not going to get it all in one fell swoop, right? So yeah, you'll definitely get the replay. That was a good question. Any other questions? Hi, babe. I'm live. All right, I'm live. Mr. Jones, everybody. Don't y'all get it live? I had all the family folks that's coming in here to do what they need to do. Because I'm still a mama and a wife, and those roles do not stop. All right, so I think that is it. Anything else? Did we get any other comments or anything? We good? You good? Okay, hold on. Un momento. Do I have any jokes? I don't have any jokes. Do I got a song? Oh, do some positionettes. You got to get in position. Get in position. You got to get your money in position. You got to get your money in position. Boom. All right, there are no more comments and no more questions. So we will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Mistake number 3 will be, if you're going to have money coming in, you got money going out. All right, I'll see you guys later.